Breaking news out of the North Bay where multiple people were hurt and dozens now displaced after an apartment building catches fire in San Rafael.
Yeah, Ground Force 3's Estacio joins us live from the scene. Teresa, you've been talking to some people that are experiencing this firsthand. Good morning.
A lot of details to get to you guys this morning. I'm here in San Rafael. We are on Canal Street, and we are joined by the San Rafael Police Department, Justin Graham. Tell me what happened. You guys started at 5:30. You got a call, massive fire. Here we can see crews out on the scene, dumping water. A lot of people impacted. Start from the beginning for us.
That's right. So just after 5:30 this morning, we began receiving emergency calls about a fire at 516 Canal Street, which you have here. Police and fire immediately responded to the area and found that the apartment complex was fully involved. The fire department immediately sprang into action and started working to control the fire and had to go into a defensive posture to protect the structures on both sides. Our officers immediately started evacuations at the apartment complex as well as the ones on either side. There was also some rescues that occurred out on the backside as people were trying to leave the apartment complex. We immediately, with the fire department, requested mutual aid, received a lot of resources very quickly into the area, and were able to successfully evacuate a lot of people. Right now, we have about 50 displaced residents. The city of San Rafael is bringing all the resources it can to bear to be able to assist these folks, including the Red Cross. We are coordinating efforts right now. At about 8:30, we're going to be opening up the Albert J. Burrow Community Center located at 50 Canal Street for those residences so that we can coordinate resources to assist them better.
I think one thing that's very dynamic about this situation, especially in this area, for people who don't know, this is a densely populated area. There are people here going to work, going to school. How challenging is it to face a situation like this in this kind of neighborhood?
No doubt it's complex, but fortunately we called for the additional resources. Very proud of the first responders that were on the scene, getting people moved along and moved out of the area so that we could get additional resources, but also get people taken care of right away. And we're going to continue that effort. That's a big priority for us right now, is to continue to work with the displaced victims and make sure that they get what they need. But you're right, very highly density living area. And it was crowded at first, but everybody came together, including community members helping out, working with each other, and teamwork worked here.
Sergeant, we heard some harrowing tales about people jumping off of the balcony into the canal, the physical water canal that's behind the complex. Very scary situations for a lot of people. We've got some people injured, correct?
That's correct. So we have about a dozen people that have been injured. We do know of one serious injury that was immediately transported to a local area hospital. We're working to determine what exactly those injuries were, but we have had one transported immediately to the hospital.
We heard from some other people that live in the area, loud explosions, screams. Do we have any idea? It's fine. You have to be communicating. Do we have any idea what those loud explosions are? I mean, this is very early on in the very complicated situation to try and unpack what happened out here, what caused the fire, but do we have any idea what was exploding?
We don't know, but that'll come out in an investigation that's just starting now. As you can tell, it's still a very active scene. Our fire crews are still pouring water onto the apartment complex. Historically speaking, large-scale fires like this, you hear a lot of different noises, and it can be a lot of different reasons for that. But a lot of this will come out in the investigation to determine what exactly people heard, and it'll help fire investigators look into certain things as this progresses.
Do you have any of the specialty teams on scene right now? Is ATF called? Is anyone along the federal line come out here?
The fire department's in charge of that, and they are calling in additional resources. Okay. We'll have more information at our 8:30 press briefing, specifics about that.
And what's really also important about that 8:30 briefing is to make sure that the community knows where to go, right? Because there's so many people impacted, so they're going to need to have some resources.
Yeah, exactly. So the Albert J. Burrow Community Center is going to be used as an evacuation center. It's opening up at 8:30. That's located at 50 Canal Street here in San Rafael, over in the Pickleweed Park area. And so residents who were displaced by this fire are going to receive additional resources at that location, and that way we can better coordinate a better response.
The last from a police perspective, we've got a lot of streets impacted. So if you're in and around the area, I know a lot of people drop off. There's some auto mechanics in the area and so forth. What would you say to the community at large right now who need to come into this area?
Right now, I would say be empathetic and sympathetic of the situation that we have going on here. We have put out a Nixle notification asking that members of the public avoid the area. That would include Canal Street, Hogue Street, Harbor Street, and Medway Road, so that way we can still get resources into the scene. So unless you absolutely have to be here, we ask that people just avoid the area for now. It's going to be a very active scene for quite a while, so if we can ask that the public cooperate with us and make the area safe for resources.
I was going to say, maybe reschedule or call out or so forth. I know that, down from us, a couple blocks from us, are places where, there's mechanics, there's car dealerships and so forth, just off of 580. So maybe, reach out and be sympathetic to everyone out here.
Yeah, I would say if you have an appointment down here or if you had something scheduled, I would definitely call into the business, see if they're open, see if they're even able to access the business right now. We try to minimally impact, but because of the type of scene that this is, it's just unavoidable right now. So if we ask that members of the public just be smart, use some patience, some common sense, help us out in keeping this area clear.
We also have power that's out, correct?
That's correct. As a safety precaution, as you see with the ladder truck right there over the power lines, PG&E had to cut off power to the 500 and 600 block while they work.
Very good. Thank you very much. We'll see you at 8:30 with more information.
Yes.
So that's kind of the latest and greatest out here as far as what's going on. Certainly more details to come, but very important information, especially with so many people impacted. We're going to have all of those details on cron4.com. So if you need additional resources, you're impacted by this fire, make sure to go and check out cron4.com. Well, as soon as we get more information and as well as video, we'll post it online.
Teresa, thank you. Yeah, and that press briefing at 8:30, we'll definitely be interested in gleaning the latest out of that as well. Thank you so much for the update.